Hey drummers, Garey Williams here, and I'm ready to do another reaction and especially analysis video of the great Steve Gadd. He came onto the scene in my attention in the 70s. He was on the cover of Modern Drummer any number of times, and his nickname actually was Steve Gadd because he was so good and playing with so many people. So I'm going to be doing a reaction video on some more of the recent stuff he's doing with his the Gadd band that he's been touring with for the last couple of years with some really great musicians in the band. So let's check out the great Steve Gadd, see what he has to play for us. Nice little vamp. Ding. Look at how he hits the hi-hats there on the side. Look at the little left hand ghosted cross stick notes. Very cool. Looks like this is the melody. 4, 2, 3. I'm counting because I always try to figure out the form. Okay, that was the first time through the first section. We'll call that the A. This is the repeat of the A. 4, 2, 6. Mr. Groove himself. Yeah. Notice that cool little opening thing? Little double time now. Looks like we got a little solo. You can still count it. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See how the guitarist is tapping his foot like this? 1. Second time through the horn solo. 4. Little glance from Steve Gadd over there to the bassist who's facing him. Great bass player. And in this case, what's going on now is we got this double time kind of a vibe happening. But hip hop's a marriage of swing meets funk. It's got that little jazz vibe, but it's got the so it's definitely got the kick snare drivenness with the swing feel on top. So really cool. See how his hi-hats sort of move when he hits it and he kind of buries the stick in there? Very nice. Yo! Now he's really starting to hit that back beat. All right, right there. See that how he dropped his whole leg? Gadd has this technique that he developed from his youth as a tap dancer. Something that Sonny Payne did with the great Count Basie that was an influence on Jojo Mayer. That's where Jojo Mayer first heard him play this massive solo feature on a tune called Old Man River. And at the end, he stood up and his bass drum was just and he couldn't believe he got so fast. But Sonny Payne was a tap dancer, so they employed this tap dancing pedaling technique. So he would play the downbeats with the whole leg more from the heel side and then the upbeats from the toe. Probably similar to what he learned as a tap dancer. And he'll mash the beater into the head and get that nice packed sound. Really great for this genre of music, which is more funk, short, articulate tones. Starting to lay in that hi-hat more. Starting to get a little sizzly. Here we go. Now it's the phrase mark. Oh! Bass solo. Yo! Oh, guitar. Kind of makes it sound like a bass for a second. Yeah, it's just really building. Sizzle hi-hat. Here's the phrase. Bring it back down to the bass. Okay, now, I love all musicians and the way they play. So one of my favorite bass players, oh God, this guy is Jimmy Johnson. And notice how he took that idea and he just kept working it. This is one thing that really great professional experienced players do is they play longer phrases than more developing musicians, which play shorter ideas. These people have played for so many years that they'd like to tell a longer story with their ideas. And that's how you can really develop a nice solo. So I'm always enjoying listening to the way these musicians create, craft, and develop their solos. Beautiful interaction between everybody. Everybody's listening. The guitarist right now is smiling. It's awesome. He's just really liking what he's doing with the solo, as I am, I'm sure. Oh! The great Michael Landau on guitar. Yeah, it's liking it. Listen to that guy. God, he sets up the phrases so beautifully. All right, Mr. Organ Man. It's a Hammond B3, the real deal. You got this thing called a Wurlitzer. It's a spinning horn, and you can change the rate, which gives it that growl. Look at Gadd. He's putting a lot of weight into it now. Unrelenting groove. Notice how it's kicked. Love that. Unrelenting double time. Yes! Whoa! Halftime on top with the tom. Cool. Oh, Gadd, floor tom. Okay. Nice. No crash on one there. Okay. Looks like we're going to come back into the top. Ooh, yes. Wow. Okay. Those are paradiddle diddles in a 2-against-3 polyrhythm. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 5, and boom! Put his left foot on his left bass drum pedal. So he's kind of using the left pedal as like a hi-hat sometimes. Very gospel. Look at how the hi-hat bends. So he can hold it kind of loose like that and mute it by pushing the cymbals in to create more of a muffled sound. Instead of lifting and using his foot, he mutes it with the stick. Yes! Love it. Ooh! Almost like second line marching. Bass drum syncopates around the top of the snare and hi-hat. Look at that grip in the right hand. Really relaxed. Mid-hand focal. That's the technique right there. Like from tap dancing. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. The one that Jojo Mary uses. Yeah. Look at how he keeps that cross stick going. Syncopates on top. Really complimenting the rest of the band. Ultimate musical drummer, Mr. Steve Gadd. Okay, now. Whoa. Yes. Yes. Okay, that's the classic Steve Gadd displaced double stroke roll in 30-second notes. I know that's a mouthful, but it's just a one hand, and two. That kind of thing where he's basically playing like a double stroke roll, but it's displaced a single, and then he plays it with the cross stick, so it has this really beautiful sound. Ooh. Okay, that's triplets. Triplets. Okay, this is like a funk shuffle, 16th note subdivision. He's doing the same linear kind of approach he did with the double stroke rolls. Instead of keeping the right hand going, it's more open so you hear everything individual. That's what linear drumming is. No two voices hit at the same time. Rim shots. Really get the rim shots going. Same thing, but now snare. Oh! That's the classic Steve Gadd dump, which is 3 up, 1 down, bunched in. It's kind of a 2 against 3 polymer. Very cool. Yes. Now that's just kick, right, left, right. So it's 2, 3, 4. So his foot's just playing on the downbeats and filling it around. Very cool. Notice how his feet are together. Bass drum, hi-hat. Triplets now, bass to left, right. Whoa! The ending. Yes! Listen to how he ends it. Cymbals and drums. Yo! Oh, amazing, yes. Oh, God, the amazing Steve Gadd. Oh, we got to talk about this. And the ending there, especially the way he closed out the tune is so cool. This is something that a lot of developing musicians kind of don't get, in my opinion, is that you want to play a drum flourish or fill at the end that matches the energy that the song has gone through. Now, start out really kind of light, then it went, got into more of a double time feel. So at the end, he's mixing it up and he's creating what I call the waterfall effect for the end. So instead of having just shh or where he's got just drums or cymbals, he's playing the instrument as a whole. He's got one hand up on a cymbal, the other hand on a drum. So he's mixing this white noise shh with the low rumbles. So that's why I call it the waterfall effect. Beautiful ending to the tune. A lot of these great drummers understand that you want to continue to mix that high and low even on the final chord, like you would playing grooves, and not just make it a bunch of drums only. So the great Steve Gadd. Now, I've studied his playing extensively. Went through his videos years ago. I remember telling some people I'd pay $1,000 if somebody could teach me how to play as good as Steve Gadd, because I was so passionate about understanding him. He was my first favorite contemporary drummer that really introduced me to, as he did many people, the Mozambique and the use of rudiments on the drum set and his ability to just play so beautifully in time. A great sense of touch and tone. He just had great hands. I studied with a guy when I got my master's degree who went to the Eastman School of Music and studied with John Beck, John Beck was Steve Gadd's drum teacher. And so he asked John Beck, so tell me about Gadd. What was it about Gadd? And John Beck said that Steve Gadd just had the best hands. And his technique was just beautiful. And he grew up after dinner for playing along with 45 RPM recordings of military marching band music on a practice pad with his uncle. That's the story. So not video games, actually drumming, spending time with sticks in hand, and everything had more of a weight approach and not quite so velocity oriented as some of the core stuff today. So he always had a great sound, a great touch, played with traditional grip, played with match grip. I could go on for days about this man. I just love his playing. He's the great Steve Gadd. I hope you enjoyed this reaction and especially my analysis of his playing, because I could really go into Gadd extensively. I love him so much. So if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and I'll see you on the next reaction video. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.